So now we'll just look at the point spread on this problem. Here's our part A. So part A was our related rates part. We came up with negative pi over 5 cubic feet per second. And so we get 1 point just for saying dv dt equals pi dh dt. So we have that here. You know, like you want to be thinking, how is what I'm writing going to match up with their scoring? If I can see enough of their scoring to sort of guess where it's going to go. So I got 1 point for saying that dv dt equals pi dh dt. And then I just get another point for the answer with the units. So here's my other point. If I left the units off, even if I got negative pi over 5, if I left the units off, I get no point for that because I have to have the answer with the units. I have to have both those things to get that point. Or if I had the right units and I put pi over 10, I'm not going to get that point. So I have to have the right answer and the right units to get that second point. All right, and then for part 3, this is only a 3-part question, so they go 2, 3, and 4. That last one is the biggest point value because separation of variables is the most work. So for part 3, part B, I thought it was interesting the way they broke these points up. So you get 1 point for getting that I should do the derivative of negative 1/10 square root h, which I didn't write that separately and explicitly. I did, or actually, did I? Yeah, I guess I have that here. The negative 1/20th. So see, they have negative 1/20th over square root h. I have that right here. That's just the derivative of this function. So if I just have this part, I get 1 point for that. And what they've done here is they've said the second point is for the same thing, but having the dh dt. So another way to say that is if I had forgotten to do the dh dt here, that would have lost me just 1 point. So there's another point for having this, and there's 1 point for having this. So I get 1 point for getting this part and 1 point for knowing that I should put a dh dt on it. And then the third point is for answer with explanation. So to get the third point, I have to say increasing, and I have to say because the second derivative is positive. That's my third point. So interestingly, I guess if you had made a mistake up here, and you've gotten this part, but you left off the DHT, but let's say that what you got was positive anyway. All right, so what I got for d squared h dt was positive anyway, then this answer would still hold up and would still get me the point, even if I had this answer wrong. So I'd have 1 point here and just lose 1 point here. So, but of course the best thing is to shoot for all the points, get it all right. So, and then in part C, it's just broken down into all the parts for the separation of variables. And just, you want to sort of look at how you got, do all the steps, get all the points. It's just basically 1 step per point. Same way I would grade this for a test. 1 for separation of variables. So that means I wrote this part. That's 1 point. 1 for antiderivatives. That means I got both of these antiderivatives. So I have to get both of these and I get 1 point. Even if I forget the plus C at this point, I still get this point and this point. So if I forgot the plus C, I'm not getting any more points because if there's no constant of integration, then my maximum is 2. So if I didn't put this plus C here, I got 2 and we're done scoring it. All right. So, but that's sort of the basic. And by the way, if I don't use separation of variables, then I just get a 0 straight out. So it doesn't matter what else I did. If I don't do separation of variables, I get 0. So sometimes they give sort of these specialized notes and instructions in terms of scoring. Who knows what they're thinking, but, they think something. So I get 1 point for, I don't know if this means using the constant. It says constant of integration and uses initial conditions. So I guess that means that I have to actually get what that constant of integration is. It's 2 square root 5. So that's another point for getting the 2 square root 5. And then getting your final expression for h of t, that's your 4th point. So that's how they're split out. It's just a lot of steps. So each step is a point. They have some specialized instructions. I don't think they really do much because, it says like 2 out of 4, maximum is 2 out of 4, 1, 1, 0, 0, if no constant of integration. Well, I don't know what else could happen. I mean, how would you get 1, 1, 0, 1? Because there's no constant of integration. You're definitely not getting the constant of integration point. And then how could you get the h of t point? Because you need the constant of integration to get a correct expression for h of t. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the square root 5 there. So I don't know what their thinking is here, But you can think about those things and see if they make sense to you.